Time to honor those they'd lost and bring the town back together. Or maybe she just needed this event to heal from her own heartache. Kylie fussed, her cherub face scrunching up, a clear signal she was ready to be released from the high chair. "Okay, sweetie pea," Zoe said. "I just need to fill one more box, and then it'll be nap time." She wrapped the prepared meal she'd made in cellophane and placed it inside a white catering box. She shut the lid, smiling at the sight of her business logo. A bright green Z above the words "The Au Courant Chef, Zoe Jenkins." She set the box in the refrigerator next to several others. Later today, she would bag the boxes up and drive them over to her client, Mayor Singh. The trill of her landline startled her. She stared at the instrument sitting on the other end of the counter. Who would be calling her on that phone? On the advice of her pediatrician, she'd had a landline installed after Kylie was born. Dr. Webb had said he always recommended one to new parents. Cell phones could run out of battery and be unavailable in the case of an emergency. However, a landline would always provide 911 with a physical address of where to send emergency personnel. She didn't have an answering machine set up and didn't intend to. She wanted the landline for calls out, not in. Probably spam. She ignored the ringing. The phone went silent but started up again a few seconds later. The insistent noise hammered at Zoe, grating on her nerves. She quickly washed her hands. By the time she turned the water off, the phone had gone silent again. She breathed out a sigh of relief. After packing the rest of the ingredients into the refrigerator, she moved to release Kylie from the high chair. The ringing started up for a third time. "Someone is sure persistent," Zoe said aloud. She stared at the phone. Unease slithered down her spine. Would they just keep calling until she answered? That would seriously mess with nap time. With a growl of frustration, she grabbed the receiver. "Hello?" She couldn't keep the irritation from her voice. There was a brief silence, then a stream of distorted maniacal laughter, like from a creepy recording of a horror movie, filled her ear. Zoe held the phone away from her as the unnerving sound continued. "Ugh." Zoe slammed the receiver down. Prank call. The world had turned upside down, and someone thought it would be funny to harass her on the landline. Someone needed to get a life. Unsettled and beyond annoyed, Zoe picked Kylie up from the high chair and hugged her close. Singing a soothing tune, hoping to keep them both calm enough to nap, she carried Kylie to the nursery at the other end of the long hallway on the opposite side of the house. The nursery was filled with fanciful motifs in bright, cheery colors. Framed castles and unicorns and fields of flowers covered the walls. A white crib with bright pink and yellow bedding, a changing table painted in teal blue, and a comfy rocking chair in cream with a floral print pillow sat beneath the window. A comfy and cozy space. The room brought Zoe joy, as did her daughter. At the changing table, she continued to sing as she prepped Kylie for a nap. A loud boom, low and deep, ricocheted through the house, rocking Zoe back on her heels. The entire house violently shook. Shock and fear exploded within her. She clutched a wailing Kylie to her chest and dove to the floor, covering her baby with her body. "Oh God, spare us!" "Where are we unlocating?" The sound of a distant explosion rattled the windows and raised the fine hairs on the back of FBI Special Agent Chase Rawlston. He stood at the head of the conference room table in the Elk Valley Police Department for a task force meeting. The space had become the headquarters of the Mountain Country Canine Unit. Sitting around the table were several of the men and women from various law enforcement agencies that made up the team tasked with locating and stopping a serial killer they dubbed the Rocky Mountain Killer. The reign of terror had begun right here 10 years ago in Chase's hometown of Elk Valley, Wyoming. 3 young men, all recent grads of the high school, members of the Young Ranchers Club, had been murdered on Valentine's Day, lured to a barn and shot dead. After that, the case had gone cold and a decade passed. But several months ago, murders in nearby states had the mark of the same killer. The victims were men originally from Elk Valley and connected in some way to the Young Ranchers Club. The door to the conference room banged open, and an Elk Valley police officer filled the open space.